So let's talk about fats and good fats and how important they are to your body metabolism and how they can help your body lose weight. Hi, it's Brett the Herbalist, and today I'm here to give you the skinny on fats. In other words, the stuff you need to know about fats, especially for diet and weight loss and weight management. So the whole idea of calorie restriction, or the traditional um, restricting calories for weight loss, is yes, it works, but it's a bit of a false way to long term get your metabolism under control, because what you're basically doing by calorie restriction is starving your body of energy, and that will make your metabolism crash. So not a really healthy way to do it long term, and that's why a lot of people that do calorie restricting diets such as low fat or low sugar or calorie counting diets bounce back and rebound and put the weight back on pretty much worse than they started with in the beginning. So it's not something you can sustain. The great thing with fats is they give you up to 3 times the amount of energy per gram as ordinary carbohydrates or protein. So they're a very, very high source of energy. Before we go right into the fats, I just want to mention one other thing, and that's the high protein diet, which is also a fad that's been around for a little while now, and particularly the keto diets, which you might have heard of, which is actually meant to be a high fat diet. So a lot of people mistake a keto diet for a high protein diet, which it's not. The reason being is that you get a majority of your fats, or a lot of people get most of their fats from eating meat. And that's not the best place to get your fats, because the fats in meat are quite inflammatory to your body. And a lot of them are just pure saturated fats, and also they contain toxins that have been absorbed from the animal, which are stored in the fat. So that fat can also be quite toxic. So a keto diet is a high fat diet, not a high protein diet. But you can do a much better job of a keto diet by getting the fats from plant sources or plant-based fats. And that's the key to a successful keto diet. But in fact, I don't recommend that long-term as a long-term approach either, because it can be quite inflammatory to your body, quite acid forming, and long-term it puts a lot of strain on your organs, particularly your kidneys. So I don't suggest calorie counting, and I don't suggest keto diets long-term. In fact, I don't suggest any kind of diet that restricts a particular food group in the way of fats, proteins, or carbohydrates. So that's just a good place to start. But getting back onto fats, let's get into that in a bit more detail. So just a couple of background things. Fats are a crucial, very, very important nutrient to your body's metabolism as a whole. Now you think about the coating on your body on the outside is there's a fat layer, and of course women have an extra fat layer than men, and so that fat layer surrounds the entire body. But also every single cell in your body has what's called a phospholipid membrane, which is a fatty membrane that goes around the cell. And so that helps the cell maintain its integrity. It protects the cell from ingoing and outgoing substances. It controls the transport of nutrients in and out of the cell. And it's crucial to have a good phospholipid membrane in your cell. And also we have fats in the blood called triglycerides, which your body uses for energy. Another thing about fats, in particular saturated fat, which contains cholesterol, is how crucial cholesterol is to your body metabolism, because cholesterol is at the top of the chain of the whole hormonal cascade in our body's hormonal system. In particular, testosterone, estrogen, and even our adrenal hormones. They're all formed from a base compound of cholesterol. So it's crucial that your body has enough saturated fat and cholesterol going into the system to maintain a good hormonal balance. So something that's often overlooked when you go on a low fat diet is you can end up with hormonal issues, depression, fatigue. And one of the reasons is your body uses the cholesterol to make the testosterone and the estrogen, which is our primary driving energy, if you like, that vitality, virility, and energy that comes from having a good hormonal system. Now you might have gathered if you've watched any of our other videos that I'm not a real advocate of eating a lot of meat. I think a plant-based diet long term is the ideal diet for maintaining and improving your health over the long term. So reducing the intake of meat over time is a good idea. and in fact animal products in general. But I'm not a strict vegan, and I do recommend that we do have a little bit as well. Things like a couple of eggs here and there, maybe a little bit of fish here and there, occasional bit of soft cheese and stuff like that. And good yogurt is also really healthy and good for your body. Now, all of those things contain, of course, saturated fat if they're full fat products. And there's been a lot of evidence to show that those can really help support hormonal balance in the body and, in fact, general health of the body, because not from the meat, but from other products that have a little bit of that saturated fat in them. The other thing is to get as much as you can from plant-based sources. So things like avocados are extremely good for a nice balance of fats. Hemp oil is incredible for a good source of fats as well. And many other sources that you can get from your diet, including some nuts. I don't recommend eating a lot of nuts, but some nuts and nut milks can give you a good source of those fats that come in nuts, because they're shown to help balance and regulate good and bad cholesterol as well. So the cholesterol issue, that's another topic. You can find a link to on this page to more about cholesterol and cholesterol balance. But don't get stressed out about cholesterol, because if your body's healthy, it will use the cholesterol and it will use it to produce steroidal hormones and sex hormones, which your body really needs for metabolism. Vegetable products all have a little bit of fat in them, and they are called oils. So obviously we know we can get pressed oils like olive oil, but just eating the olives themselves will give you quite a good content of that oil as well. So anything that says that you can get as an oil, pressed oil, if you eat that food, you're also going to get those good oils. Okay, so lastly, I wanted to mention a couple of my favourites. So one thing I've really been keen on recently is coconut oil and even coconut cream. And there's a lot of evidence that, yes, coconut oil and coconut cream have saturated fat in them, but it's a very good type of fat that is metabolized and burned by your body for energy very, very quickly. And also, coconut oil has a compound in it called lauric acid, which can help support your immune health and help to modulate your immune system. So very, very good oil to have, coconut oil. And coconut cream and coconut curries, I recommend. You'll see a lot of recipes with those ingredients in them. And of course, the last one I'd like to mention is soy. So soy only has about 3 to 5% protein in it, 3 to 5% fats, and a very high content of protein, up 30-40% protein, depending on the soy product you use. But it's got a really good balance of proteins and fats. So I do recommend eating more soy products, especially tofu, having soy milk. And all soy products have been shown, because of the type of fats they have in them, to help reduce problems with the hormonal system and help to regulate that hormonal system. Isoflavones also. So it's very, very, very good for helping to regulate the system hormonally. And of course, that's a key part to getting the whole weight loss effect going on in your body. So last of all, I just wanted to mention that, remember what we talked about in the beginning, is that it's not good to go on a fad diet where you cut out sugar, carbohydrates, proteins or fats. Yes, processed sugar is good to cut out, but carbohydrates, fats or proteins, keep them at a sort of an equal amount. It's good to have roughly an equal amount of those food groups in your diet, and try to get them from plant-based foods as much as you possibly can. And really, you can't go wrong. That's the key to it. The other thing is, keep it unprocessed. So try to have raw, unprocessed whole foods. And with the fats, again, don't get heat treated or processed fats. Try to get cold pressed oils or eat the fats in the food as a whole food. And again, you really can't go wrong. And as far as weight loss goes, if you stick to the whole food, unprocessed diet, and you try to keep your food groups balanced, and you look at including a lot more herbs and spices and spice up the diet, that will speed up your metabolism, and you'll find your cravings go down. And also look at the herbs that we offer for kicking up metabolism, reducing food cravings in the Herbal Slim, and also the detox for resetting your gut health and your liver metabolism to get your whole internal metabolism working that way. So a cleanse once a year, a slim kit occasionally when you find your habits are getting a bit off track, And otherwise, yeah, I hope that's been helpful with the fats and given you a few ideas on where to go with that. So thanks for watching again, and we'll talk to you soon.